I want to continue our talk on formulas and functions and speak about a group of formulas called array formulas. Now, to become a really advanced user of Excel, you got to be able to use array formulas. Now, array formulas do a lot of things for us. Now, if you remember, we briefly touched upon array formulas in Module 1 when we talked about the array function to create frequency distributions. Now, what can you do with array formulas? Well, you could do a lot of things. One, you count the number of characters that are contained in a range of cells. You could sum up numbers that meet a certain condition, such as the lowest value in a range, or numbers that fall between an upper and lower boundary. You could sum every nth value in a range of values. In other words, there's lots of things you can do with array formulas, and they're very, very useful when working with large amounts of data. Now, the big difference between an array formula and a normal formula is that when you complete the formula, you don't hit enter. You hit Control-Shift-Enter. And when you do that, it creates these little squiggly brackets on either end. And that's one way you could tell you're dealing with an array function, is those end brackets. So basically, an array in itself is a collection of items. These items can reside in a single row, and if you have an array in a single row, we call that a one-dimensional horizontal array. Or it could reside in a column. In that particular case, we call that a one-dimensional vertical array. Or it could belong to a multiple rows and multiple columns. That's a two-dimensional array. An array formula can perform multiple calculations on one or many items in an array. An array formula that resides in multiple cells is called a multi-cell formula, and an array formula that resides in a single cell is called a single-cell formula. So let's take a look at a multi-cell array. Now, at the top of this page, you have a link to a workbook. And in that workbook, if you want to work along with me, there is a sheet called Multiple Cell Array. And you see data that looks like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the number of units sold, right here, by unit price. So, and we're going to do this all with an array, multi-cell array formula. So the first thing you do, since an array works with multiple cells, if it's a multi-cell array, you want to select all of the cells that will contain your array formula. So in this case, we're going to select cells E2 to E11. And then we're going to type in the formula. Now the formula, as you could see, deals with multiple cells in a column, in columns C and columns D. So what this formula is saying is, look at the cells from C2 to C11, and we're going to multiply that group to D2 to D11. Once you enter the formula, you don't want to hit enter, you want to hit Control-Shift-Enter. So hit Control-Shift-Enter. Now once you hit enter, Excel places these squiggly brackets here, and that's how you know that it's an array formula. And it places an instance of the formula in each cell of the selected range, right here. Now let's create an array formula in a single cell. So select cell A13 and type total sales. Then select cell C13 and type the following formula, equals sum. Now we're going to sum up the items in column C and multiply it by the items in column D, right there. So once you enter that formula in, you then press Control-Shift-Enter, and boom, there's your sum and total all in one cell. That's a single cell array. Now in this case, Excel multiplies the values in the array right here, and then sums them up and adds the totals together. This example shows how powerful this type of formula can be. For example, suppose you have 15,000 rows of data. You can sum up part or all of that data by creating an array formula in a single cell. Also notice that the single cell formula in cell C13 right here is completely independent of the multi-cell formula in cells E2 to E11 right there. This makes array formulas very flexible. You can take any number of actions, such as changing the formulas in column E or deleting that column altogether without affecting the single cell formula. What are some of the other benefits? Well, consistency. If you click on any cell in column E downwards, right here, you see that the formula is the same. This consistency can help ensure greater accuracy. Also, safety. You cannot overwrite a component of a multi-cell array formula. For example, if you clicked on cell E3 and hit delete, you wouldn't be able to delete it. To delete it, you have to select the entire array before deleting. Also, another benefit, smaller file sizes. You can often use a single array formula instead of several intermediate formulas. For example, for this instance, you used one array formula to calculate the results in column E. If you had to use the standard formulas, such as equals C2 times D2, you would have to use 11 different formulas to calculate the same results. So, there are many benefits to this. Now, what we're going to do is in the next video, I'm going to show you something similar to an array formula. It's called the table tool, but that's for the next video.